More wheat. Believe it or not, I'm gonna plant some more. Just not today. But Mr. Small asked me if he could have his tender back. And being as that I haven't used it in like 2 weeks, I told him he could. So we're gonna dump what's left in it in the drill. The drill's been sitting in the rain, which I don't like, but none of the wheats got wet, so it'll be okay. Let's go. $500 to fill this truck up. I love fuel prices. Let's go, Brandon. So if you look closely today, you'll see I am driving quite a bit slower. It is not an ideal bean cutting day. It's been cloudy all day long. And it's gonna be cloudy tomorrow with the chance of a slight mist. So I don't know how many beans we'll even get to cut tomorrow. Talking about a light drizzle all day long tomorrow, and then going to basically rain for a week solid. So I'd love to be driving faster than what I am right now, but I'll end up just plugging something up or tearing something up. So slow is smooth, smooth is fast today. We're just taking it nice and easy, and even though I'm going about half the speed I was yesterday, we're getting something done. So we're not going to be getting anything done plugged up or torn up, so just taking it easy. But we are running at full capacity, so definitely can't run much faster, but we're also going up a pretty steep hill right now, so that's part of it. But they're tough. They're real tough today. They're yielding decent, but they are very tough beans. Dumping the cart. Got 2 trucks full. So cool feature about red combines that I definitely didn't know I needed, but I definitely did. They have an unslug mode. So I just plugged the rotor, put it on unslug mode, opened the concave up a little bit. It cleaned right out. I love it. No more dropping the concaves and spending 3 hours pulling crap out. You unslug it. It's honestly the best thing they ever put in the combine, especially in green stem soybeans in a cloudy day. I'm still getting something done. I love it. I believe we have cleaned her out, so here goes nothing. Gonna go to run screen here. Do we get a rotor speed? Well, we get grain tank. We do. Would you look at that? We are unslugged. Shut up. Pro 700s are annoying, but we are unslugged. Rotor speed is right where it's supposed to be. So now we gotta close our concave back down because I had it all the way open. And we'll be back to cutting beans. I love it. So for those who know, they know what it's like to plug a combine. For those that don't, basically, that's your rotor in there. It's turning fast. That's your concave here. And what happens is all the beans are going from the head through the feeder house into the rotor. And when you get too many in there that are too tough, it pulls that down and it stops turning. And when it does, it's normally packed in there like a hay bale, and it's a bad day trying to get it all pulled out. Now this stuff here, it's loose. We're not worried about that. That's not a problem. And it's turning now. So kudos to Case for having a rotor deslug, because I could have used that a lot of times before on other combines. And I've spent hours deslugging combines before. Not that I've ever slugged a combine before, but it happens. Well, we knocked 4 fields out back here. I don't know how much more I want to even try and cut. This is getting to just be hard on this machine. They're just, damn, they're tough. I mean, this is a Class 8 machine with a 30-foot head on it. It should handle it no problem. But you can just hear everything in there moaning and groaning and grunting, and it's not ideal. It's not ideal. But It's taking it. But for how long? That's the question. So, I don't know. We're gonna drop the head off. Really like to get a couple more clusters of fields knocked out today. But I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, so. Yeah, we'll see. Well, it's 5 o'clock on Friday, and I don't know if you can tell, but it started misting now, so we're calling it quits before we tear something up on the combine. They're just getting tougher and tougher, wetter and wetter. And these are going in a bin with a really small fan on it, so they're getting up to like 14 and a half now, so I'm just, which isn't terrible. I can still take that out with the fan, but our days of drying weather are done, so is what it is. We're gonna get things home and call it a day. 5 o'clock on a Friday. Heading home, calling it a day, probably calling it a weekend with the forecast we have, but give me time to update balance sheets for last month, go through a stack of bills about yay deep, and write a bunch of checks. Good thing is I got a stack of checks about that deep of grain checks that have been coming in. I just haven't been to the bank yet, so hopefully there's more grain checks than there is bills. But we'll see. We've put a lot in the grain bin, so plenty to go around. One of these days we'll get out here and we'll shell this corn. That corn on both sides of the road here. But I don't know. We made a pretty good run at it. This little patch of weather we had. Now we're just in for a patch of not so good weather, but it is what it is. We'll get it done. Well, it started out sunny this morning, and it's 2 o'clock now, and it's cloudy, and it's supposed to rain at 4 o'clock. But I dragged the combine out here anyways. Right or wrong, we're gonna try some. It's Saturday. I really had to quit early yesterday because it was too tough. It was sunny this morning. I don't know. We had a heavy dew. They may cut, they may not, but won't know till I try it. So we're gonna try it. I don't know. Try and get something done. Phenomenal beans right here, really. I mean, they're really rolling in. They're doing great. Yeah, not so much. But when you're farming between those trees and those trees, it tends to not do very well. This state ground is good dirt, but it's crappy fields, and that kills the average, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know. The inside, it'll do decent, but then when you have all this crappy end-row crap going on, your average never ends up being very much. But part of it, you farm what you can get, especially starting out. Well, I shouldn't have even tried to get the combine out today. We cut a truckload. I sent it down to Newburgh, and it wasn't even completely full. He only had like 780 bushel on. But I plugged the rotor up right before he left, so I just dumped what was on the combine on him, so he wasn't totally full. I got it unplugged, which is easy to do in that combine. You just hit the rotor deselect thing and rock it back and forth, and it cleans itself out. You don't even have to get out of the cab. It's awesome. But I called him and I said, hey, what'd they test? And he said they were 16.3, so they were picking up moisture anyhow. And now it's raining. So it wasn't even worth dragging the combine out today for 780 bushel. It's gonna rain today, it's gonna rain tomorrow, it's gonna rain the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. There's rain in the forecast every day for the foreseeable future. So I was really pushing to get done beans, but I've only got like 40, maybe 50 acres left of beans. It was close, but not quite. But we did make a lot of progress. I mean, it could be worse. I could have 500 acres of beans left, and I don't. So we did fly through several hundred acres of beans the last few days. So I can't complain, but I really wanted to get done. Oh well. So I'm down to like 50 acres of beans, and I think I got like 150, 160 acres of corn left. The corn is still standing good that I do have left. Any of it that was brittle, that's what I went for first. So the corn I still have left is standing good. If we gotta mud it out, we'll mud it out, but I really don't want to. Most of it that I have left is all on the state ground. All the beans I have left are on the state ground, and then most of the corn, 90% of the corn I have left is also on state ground. So lots of patches. That's all I got left really is patches. We'll get it done. It'll quit raining eventually. All the old timers say it's still early, so I don't know, we'll see. But pulling in now, we're gonna close the hopper up on the combine so it didn't get so much water in it, and head home. It is what it is. Really ideal bean cutting weather. Yeah, it's really coming down now. I don't even want to get out of the cab. It's time to fold the hopper extension down and go home. Might even eat a warm meal and take a nap for once. That'll be nice. Kind of looking forward to that. Minor fixes, nothing to see here. Just patching something up. Handy little setup though.